Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the new moon that's coming up on February 9th, 2024. So we're going to take a look at each life path number to see what energies may surface around this illumination and see how to best work with them. Of course, before we do that, I just want to mention that this is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we take a look at your own personal numerology, I would love to work with you. You can book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. Life Path 6. So for you all, you're going to be working with the energy of the 7 as well as salmon energy. So this is interesting because with 7 energy, there's of course always a focus on coming back to self, right? Like following your intuition, following your inner guidance, greater self-discovery. That's really the core essence of the 7. And then there's of course the practical elements of truth seeking, of getting to the bottom of something. But there's also the very spiritual, metaphysical, ethereal side of the 7, which ties us, brings us back to ourselves and our spirituality and our connection to something greater than self that we are a part of, right? So our higher consciousness, our higher self, whatever the case may be. So it's interesting because with salmon energy, if you think about salmon, they typically will every year by instinct go back to the same place where they were born, right? Like to mate, to spawn. And that's quite a journey within itself, right? And so it's interesting because salmon energy ties so beautifully with this 7 energy with the metaphor of following your instincts, following your intuition, following your hunches. When it comes to making some kind of decision, when it comes to saying yes to something or committing to something. And the 7 is going to require you to do that as well. So again, if there's something that, some kind of decision that needs to be made or something that you're trying to do or a new insight or new idea that comes in for you, especially around a new moon, right? So this is a time for new starts, for setting intentions, for new ideas and taking action on those ideas. And so coupled with the 7 and salmon, I would say there's something here that's waiting for your yes or waiting for you to commit to it. But you have to make sure that it feels right for you. And I'm not talking about feels right, meaning from an emotional standpoint, as far as, oh, I'm afraid to do this, so it's not right for me. I'm talking about that thing that, that feeling that keeps coming up for you when you're confronted or faced with whatever this is, that's either a yes or a no. And it's something you feel from within. So I would say that this is going to potentially bring up an opportunity to make some kind of decision, do something differently, initiate something new, but it has to come from your inner knowing, right? Because you might be presented with a lot of information. You might have information overload. And to really come up with the answer or the solution or the decision that best suits you in this moment or that's most aligned, it has to come from your heart center, right? From your intuition, from your inner knowing. So think of salmon. Someone could be telling salmon, don't go to that same spot because you're going to get eaten by a bear. But the salmon knows that that's where it needs to go. And so it's going to go there, regardless of sort of the fear or what it might face. And it's kind of the same thing here. It's you might be faced with something where it brings up fear or self-doubt or whatever the case may be. And it could be, you get proposed to and you have fear of commitment or something. I don't know, right? And so you'll have to really feel into that to find out, what is best for you in this moment. So there's definitely something here where it's pushing you to trust yourself and to trust your decision around whatever it is that you decide to do. But yeah, it's actually really beautiful energy, bringing you back to yourself. So yeah, it's also asking you to be somewhat vulnerable as well. It's kind of the same thing with salmon, right? It's and again, I'm speaking more metaphorically, obviously, but the salmon knows that there's danger. I mean, I don't know if the salmon knows, but from an outsider looking in, we know that there's danger for the salmon, going back to the same spot every year. And because obviously the bears know this. So there's vulnerability there, right? It's facing that fear because they know that that's what they need to do. And there's something here for you, sixes, where, you might be presented with something, or there's something that's been coming up for you where you need to do it, but everything on the external is saying don't do it, or, you have reason to be afraid, or whatever the case may be. You could find that this is a time to sort of bite the bullet and go for it, whatever it may be. This is definitely pushing you to follow your head and your heart, not excluding one or the other, and to find your connection holistically to body, mind, spirit, in making whatever this decision could be. And of course, it could be across the board, right? Relationships, career, etc. So I would say ultimately, this energy, this new moon, is asking you to take action, to initiate something, to start something that feels very aligned for you, even if the external is giving you pushback or presenting information otherwise. So this can be a really empowering energy for you all, sixes. But of course, it's how we choose to use it. But it can also be a very spiritually, like you could see your dreams kind of light up, have very vivid dreams around this time with new inspirations that come through for you. Or someone might say something to you that inspires something within you or ignites something within you. And I would say follow that inspiration and see where it takes you. So beautiful energy, sixes. I love this for you all. All right. I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now.